Why are you trying to get all shy now? You see what happens, Zubin? You see getting all shy? Look at the smile on his face.
I'm just, look, in the end, I thought that you guys had similar game. That's all.
There's nothing similar about our games other than
Y'all
potentially our height, and that's your only joke.
Y'all both play point guard. Y'all
And both won the
facilitated.
championship.
Y'all
Both won the
championships.
Zubin, don't help here, Zubin.
I wasn't throwing shade. I just figured y'all body types, y'all look the same on them young
We
pictures
look
you had.
nothing the same. We don't look the same.
Both in broadcasting?
All
Both in
point guards don't look.
broadcasting.
Stop, Zubin.
Yes.
Facts. Just bring it.
Yeah, just facts. Zubin, you know.
All right, let's get to Sierra.
All of them, you know, the dude from Michigan State and the dude from Connecticut. If I'm casting somebody,
What's the dude from Connecticut's name? I want to hear you say his name.
Also in broadcasting, by the way.
Yeah, there you go.
Elamine or something
Yes,
like that?
that's his last name.
What's his first name?
Khalid Elamine.
yeah.
Khalid Elamine. I knew it was something like that, but y'all all kind of was good players.
Wait,
That's all.
that's like me saying like Mike Williams or Justin Blackman,
Ooh, Justin Blackman.
Chris
Ooh,
Chambers.
ouch.
Well, I don't know why you would
a
try to
tough
do that to
comparison.
me. And I love Mateen. Mateen's my guy. It just
I didn't say
it hurts.
anything
It
derogatory
hurts.
or bad about.
It's cool, Charlie Rogers. I hear you.
Can we move on?
Aaron Dobson. I mean, can we keep going through?
Come
You're
on,
the
man.
worst,
You
kid.
just being disrespectful, man.
you started.
I
Yes.
did not, Jay.
Last word, I guess,
All
on
right.
this is Key's going to watch Tom
I
and
didn't
Jerry.
call you Cameron Dollar or nothing like that. Come on, man. Let's go.
Toby Bailey? Okay.
Zubin.
So Key's going to watch Tom and Jerry. And a shout out to Mateen. If you have some time later, Key, watch the Flintstones.
Yes.
You have to
Bad
get that. You're a
boys,
college
man.
basketball fan to get
Him and Zach Randolph and Jason Richardson.
They were amazing, right? Charlie Bell, the
Wow.
whole thing. So, all right, you guys are talking about facts. Yesterday, there was a story put out with some breathtaking facts, a breathtakingly detailed piece yesterday on the mutual dissatisfaction that exists between the Seahawks and Russell Wilson and the Seahawks. It all came to a crescendo. The most salient thing to come out of the piece was a story that was told that before the Seahawks played the Cardinals on Thursday Night Football this year, back on November 19th, the week of the game, Russell Wilson walked in. The Seahawks were struggling after that first 5-0 start in franchise history. He had some suggestions on how to fix their offense, and those suggestions were dismissed. And then Wilson stormed out of the room, and then that got on social media and started its own storm. Adam Schefter started to do some reporting. We found out through his agent, Wilson's agent, Mark Rogers, that Russell is not demanding a trade. But Adam did say, and this is important to remember, that Russell Wilson, much like Deshaun Watson, has a no-trade clause. If he were to consider a trade, here are the handful.
Oh, my goodness.
Here are the handful of teams he would look at.
While Russell Wilson would like to remain in Seattle, he does have a no-trade clause, and he has told the Seahawks that if you are going to trade me, here are the 4 teams that I'm open to being traded to. The Dallas Cowboys, the New Orleans Saints, the Chicago Bears, the Las Vegas Raiders. And so while he's not demanding a trade, he's leaving open the idea of a trade, and even that gets the mind going and gets the attention of executives across the league.
Key, what do we make of this? We've had almost
oh my
20 hours to digest all this. What are we making?
I don't even know what that means, though. I'm giving you a list of teams, but I'm not asking to be traded. I don't even know, like, either you are or you're not. Why don't you just, it's okay. I want to be traded. Y'all not listening to me, even though they have listened to him because they fired Schottenheimer, who was the offensive coordinator. They fired him at the end of the year. So when he stormed into the room, he was talking to Brian Schottenheimer, who was the offensive coordinator at the time. We need to fix this. This is ridiculous. They fired him at the end of the year. So they are listening to you. Like, what? To me, it just seems like Russell is trying to find his footing amongst the NFL quarterbacks that have some demands. The Aaron Rodgers, the Deshaun Watson. It's like he's trying to be cool or something. Like he wants to be accepted as I got power. Like they already listening to you, dog. They get it. You wanted a big-time receiver, they went out and got Metcalf. You wanted a running back, they went and tried to help you out with Marshawn Lynch a second time, a third time. They got other backs. So I don't know what to say other than what is he doing? That's
Is
all I
he-
can say. Like, what are you like? What is it that you're trying to accomplish here? Because if you want to be traded, just say, "I want to be traded."
Well, it's a power play, Key. It's a power play. Run the offense the way I want to run the offense, or I want to go somewhere else. But I'm not going to tell you I want to go somewhere else. But in case I do go somewhere else, here are my options of where I can go. So it's a power play with Pete Carroll by saying, okay, you want to run the football, you want to play this traditional style, I want to play this style. Either we're going to play your style or we're going to play my style. That's what it feels like to me. But it's interesting to me because not knowing Russ, but being around him, this doesn't seem like the personality of Russ to me. And I don't know, Russ has done a lot over the last couple months, Key. If it's be on the cover of GQ with Sierra, if it's sit at the Super Bowl with Roger Goodell and Sierra where he looks miserable the whole time, and Sierra's talking to Roger Goodell. If it's him flex, it feels like there's this coming of age for Russ and his power couple relationship where it's like, hey, it's going to be my way, or if it's not, I want to be somewhere else. Even though you're not willing, like you're not saying that you want to trade me, I'm going to say here are my options, even though I really don't want to be traded.
Look, Seattle, the Seahawks, they love Russell Wilson. They like Russell Wilson at the quarterback spot. But if there's a better option out there for them, I'm sure that they would explore that and let Russell go on about his business, because even though he won a Super Bowl, in the minds of everybody in Seattle, it was the defense. Even though he took them, again, to a second Super Bowl, in the minds of everybody, that was the defense against the New England Patriots. He threw the interception at the end of the game. Remember, there's a lot of people that played in Seattle that never felt Russell Wilson to begin with. Pete Carroll kind of catered to Russell Wilson and alienated a lot of guys on the other side of the ball, as well as guys on the offensive side of the ball, by how they treated him. And then, as you could see over the last couple of years, they've tried to move their offense into a passing kind of, Russell, we're going to let you do what others have done in this league to see where it goes. Pete Carroll on the offensive side decided to shift the second half of the season to more of what Pete wants to do, which is run the football, play dominant defense. They went out and traded for defensive players who upgrade the defense. Jamal Adams, they decided to add in the equation because they didn't want to play Cook Russell football anymore, because they realized that was not going to be long-term winning football. And so this is where they're at now with the situation. Again, if something comes that's better, you must believe that they're going to explore that opportunity.
Yeah, and I would just say, if you look at the piece, and it's a tremendous piece, there are plenty of examples within the piece.
Which piece?
The piece that essentially had
In the
all of the
Athletic.
grievances,
Got it.
right, that we have been basing this entire story around. There are some incredible examples of how they tried to move on or were looking to upgrade at the position, whether it was trading with Cleveland for the first overall pick in 2018, possibly even looking at Patrick Mahomes, had Mahomes fallen that far in the draft, Seattle at the 18th pick last go around in that 2017 draft. I just want to say one thing. This is maybe just a SportsCenter guy thing. So when Russell Wilson accepted the NFL Walter Payton Man of the Year award, which is given to people that do great charity work and are great on the field, it's apolitical. It's like Republicans and Democrats coming together to just honor a man or woman who's done great stuff for the country, and let's just get at each other's throats tomorrow. Can we just at least do something for this person today? That's an apolitical event. It was the first time in a long, long time, almost maybe ever, when he was finished with his Zoom press conference talking to the media about the Walter Payton Man of the Year award, where he didn't drop the Go Hawks. Sounds like a silly, stupid little thing, but that's the one time. He ends every press conference with Go Hawks, no matter what. It was the one time in an event like this where he chose not to invoke it. I'm probably overthinking it. I've been accused of overanalyzing things, guilty as charged. But there is something there. This is not a bitter contract story. This is a Walter Payton Man of the Year story, and he didn't give the Go Hawks after all of that work was done in the Pacific Northwest region. On the way, this meeting between Russ and the Seahawks that day didn't go well. The storm out. How about the meeting last week between Watson and the Texans? Would you trade Watson for Wilson? And Key's willing to trade Wilson for the right guy. Who's the right guy? We'll dig into all of that after Jay has this from Straight Talk.
It's time for some straight talk. Your tax return could look different this year, but you're still going to hear a lot of noise about how to spend it. So do your